You think you should maybe hold on to this thing? Or, at the very least, not drop it down a vent shaft. Just a typical air vent, previously repurposed as a human vent, but it mostly deals in air. Oh, is the audio too low now? That seems to be the right amount. Wonder what's been happening to it. Either way. The weird metal snakes on the sketchy diagram kind of remind you of the vent shaft. Sorta. You put Byers in the vent. After a little while he returns, with a new emptiness in his eyes. Time on the inside changed him. You realize this pigeon is now the toughest son of a bitch you've ever heard of. The rest of your adventure will be effortless child's play as your enemies are driven screaming before his fury, his fiery pinions falling like shell casings, a feathery staccato, the only elegy for the end of the world. The end of all worlds. You sprinkle some spice mix down into the I'm sorry. I can deadpan a few junctions, but that one got me. You sprinkle some spice mix into the vent shaft, and it is predictably blown right back into your face. You are lost in the allspice haze for seconds, minutes, years. None can say. The vent doesn't seem to need batteries. You guess? You didn't actually try very hard. You hurl a pog down the shaft. Good riddance. As far as you can tell, the vent shaft is not a pet. It is not, in your estimation, actually alive. But you're not 100% sure, so you give it a pet treat. It's really echoey in there. With acoustics like that, you could end up deafening yourself with your own feet. There's just not any room to maneuver in there. Ooh. The beautiful deer cat looks like the deer cat. I think common here? Something like that? Also, nice dread poster, dude. This looks like some kind of safe, you guess. Hard to be sure given your current surroundings, but it seems to fit the usual profile. Dammek seems pretty paranoid. Even if you could crack this safe, it probably wouldn't be, safe to do so. It does look like it fit pretty nice. But then again, this Dammek guy seems a little paranoid and extremely dangerous. You don't know if you should be cracking his safe. Succeeding might be hazardous to your health. You scour the sketchy diagram for a safe combination. No dice. Hey, Byers. Byers is entirely incapable of picking the lock on a weird-looking alien safe. You assume. Maybe you should have more faith in the little guy. You can't spell saffron without save. That's pretty much all you got for this obscure item combination. You didn't really expect it to open the safe, so you're not too disappointed by the underwhelming comedic payoff of your completionism. Hey! Don't call me a completionist. That'll be accurate. Wouldn't powering up the safe make it harder to open? This high-tech safe is absent a low-tech POG slot, which, wow, way to reinvent the wheel, Dammek. You waft some pet treats at the safe in an adorably naive attempt to get it to yield up its treasures. The safe is not your pet, nor is it alive. It is unswayed. It didn't move an inch. Man. Dammek must have really shelled out for such a secure safe. Or built it himself. Maybe it birthed him. It is an alien planet. You don't know how any of this works, really. It's no use. Either this safe is specifically designed to be ballet-proof, or that's not a thing safes have to be specifically designed to be. It's right there. I can see it. It's right there. Meh. Meh. Let me at it. Okay. This big messy pile of weapons and percussion instruments is really hampering your ability to use these stairs. Sheesh. You can't just up and move such a formidable pile with your fleshy, unsalted hands. Attempting this feat would be embarrassing and time-consuming and incredibly dangerous. You're graceful, but this is just incredibly dangerous. Between the pile of death and the pit of death, it's way too risky. This pile looks a little more volatile than the cardboard box variety you're used to. You think maybe you should look for another way to move it? Like one that isn't you standing next to a pile of probably loaded guns and stomping your feet a lot? Unless you're trying to get that crazy deer cat monster to come investigate this dangerous pile and then get hurt, it's not a lot of a point. And of course you aren't trying to do that. Jeez? Who do you think you're talking to here? You thought these were the crummiest discs you'd ever see, and then you saw those symbols shaped like saw blades. Jeez, Dammek. Everyone gets it. You're a bad boy. You probably had the holographic saw skull pog. There might be something in this pile of percussive death that needs batteries, but since the whole lethal mess is currently inert, you don't see a great reason to go powering it up? This deadly stew of guns, drums, speakers, and guns is spicy enough. Byers can't possibly move all that stuff by himself. There is not a single piece of this pile that he could lift so much as 1 single inch. Probably. Oh, yeah. It looks like the beams from the portal may be blasted up through the floor, destroying half the stairs and knocking this lethal crap all over the place. All over the place. Especially in your way. Especially in that place in particular. What are the odds? What are the odds? This dangerous guns and drums pile seems to have settled into meditative stability. You wouldn't want to upset that apple cart with your new pulsing power cell. Wow, that was a mouthful. Although McGruff the crime dog has never explicitly covered this in any of his safety lectures, you probably shouldn't try to climb a pile of guns. With your luck, this would just accidentally set all those guns off. That might even be exactly what it's supposed to do, but you'd rather not find out? Here, let's rub this on everything just in case. Okay, nothing there. How about this? You don't want to electrocute yourself, or bring this stuff to life, or whatever. You're not into this. Okay, are there any other... There's that... But that doesn't... Okay. Oh, these movies kind of look Like, not your thing, really. No judgment. You just don't want these posters at all. Same posters. It's stuffed to the brim already. Plus, with all those loose papers, this might start a fire or something. Oh, cool. Some more guns. Thrilling. You see the medium book of beasts, the small book of beasts, and several beasts collected in random order in a book. Equip gun. No. Power cell to gun. If this thing is for powering these guns, you're happy to keep it away from them. Pretty solid looking door. Hopefully there's a way to open it. You're feeling a little boxed in. Was that a hand? There isn't a handle. It must be opened some other way. Huh. The handprint is probably how this door is opened? Or maybe it just means that this room on the other side is room 4, or room hand, or maybe that's the obvious local sign for lethal monsters do not enter. Wait a minute, I thought 10 fingers go back there. Not 8. Either way, this thing doesn't seem to be powered. No dice. You guess it's out of power? Maybe? Maybe maybe try picking the book up first instead of just jabbing weird cubes at it. That's not a sentence you ever thought you'd have to think to yourself, but here you are. It's a brave new world. Looks like some kind of weird, big weird book. Hey, is that another one of those tucked in the pages? Probably not, but why not find out? Hey, that looks like some kind of book of animals. Byers, what do you... Oh, he's asleep. Why not dash over there and take a closer look? Books don't need batteries, you think. This is an alien planet. Maybe you'd better take a closer look. That looks like it would be a good place to hide these stupid pogs. Except it kind of looks interesting. Darn. You want to read it. I can feel the pain that the writers have. You don't know what that book is, but you kind of want to give the monster on the cover a treat. Oh. This one's in arm's reach. You could just grab it. No need for delicacy. Just pick up the book if you want. Hey, you can see the portal from here. Right through this giant hole you made when you inadvertently laser beamed yourself into Dammek's home. Ew, I hope you're not responsible for any of this damage. Okay. This desk is in pretty lousy shape on account of the guns piled on top of it. If you need to get any last-minute paperwork done, look elsewhere. Well, alright. Best case scenario, this grotesque sack of goo is some sort of alien bathtub that someone forgot to drain. Worst case scenario, it's an extremely poisonous toilet. Steer clear. You aren't going anywhere near Dammek's clogged toilet or whatever this is. Maybe it's the egg he hatched out of? It's gross, is what this is. Okay. I guess I'll pick up the book. You pick up the, let's see, Looks like this is the Big Book of Beasts? You flip through, glimpsing tons of monsters at various levels of weird, cute, scary, and spectacular. You can use this to learn more about the weird alien life on this weird alien planet. Neat! You can read this book just fine, thanks. The power cell is entirely superfluous to this particular task. Ugh, yeah. Lots of snaky looking things in here, no thanks. You don't find anything about Byers in here because he's just a little earth pidge. It's the Big Book of Beasts, not the Cookbook of Feasts. No, it's just a regular book as far as you can tell. None of the beloved animated creatures featured on these pogs are in this book, which is fine, you guess? You're not sure why you expected they might be. Wow, look at all these animals! You want to give every single one of them a treat, even the horrifying ones. Even the horrifying ones, and wow, are there some horrifying ones? You pick a page at random and accidentally spend a few minutes reading about muscle beast pectoral tumescence. Maybe you should just use this on Lucises that you actually encounter. Also, you hope that you never encounter that one. Nothing in here about any tap dancing beasts, although the giant spiders would probably be decent at it. Or terrible. It's hard to say. Careful study of this tome will help... Careful study of this tome will help you know when to leap the heck out of the way when one of these nightmare creatures comes lumbering at you. Yep, same thing. Still same thing. Odd. The writers really were just like, fucking move on at this point. That said, no room, it's covered in guns. You're not sure if that was a result of the portal beam or if his desk just always looks like this. This pile is already pretty toppled. You can't even call this a pile, really. More of a heap. It looks like some of the equipment already has bytes taken out of it, so that might be redundant. The desk has enough trash on it without adding, let's see, Eek the cat! It was TV's Eek the cat this time. The desk is currently functioning under its own power, as far as you can tell. You could dump a bunch of spice into the equipment so that it doesn't work very well anymore. But that would be extremely childish. What are you, some kind of child? The desk is already kind of a gross mess. You're not sure Byers squawking like an idiot and taking a dump on it would improve matters. Ah, squawk like an idiot and take a shit on the desk. Look at that. You hate to be crude, but there it is. He's a desk dumper. Byers, I can always count on you. It would immediately get lost amongst the alien gunboy clutter. You have a feeling this thing might be important. Maybe. Yeah. Okay. That's the same thing. I don't need to do any of those. That rules that out. That's good. You ever so gracefully avoid getting anywhere near this thing. And send this nasty egg thing tumbling over, just totally covering you in nasty slime? No thanks. No thanks a million. Wow. You really hope this thing isn't actually some kind of animal. You dip a couple in there. It's gross. Why did you do this? You leave them there. Obviously. You have a feeling the enormous sack of disgusting goo is already doing everything it does. Yeah, that's all that's keeping you from chowing down on whatever this goo is. The presumption that it's too bland. Byers splashes around in the sack of goo and becomes even more gross than he frankly already was. That sounds like a great recipe for goo diagram, which, sad story, not actually a thing. None of the beast-centric tomes on these shelves offer you any insights on the sketchy diagram you found downstairs. You skimmed the shelves, but you don't see anything about pigeons. Maybe they don't have them on this planet. Or maybe you would need to actually open one of these books and look inside to find out. Well, nuts to that, you're not made of time here. That's a different character. You're hungry, but you're not eat pictures of alien animals hungry. The bookshelf seems to be one of the few things in this house that doesn't need power. In a fit of whimsy, you jam a pog between two dusty-looking books on the shelf. Won't that just blow someone's mind, assuming someone ever returns here? Imagine that. Someone returning here and finding a pog here, and two pogs here, etc., etc. There's a lot of animal care info on this bookshelf, but you think you've already mastered pet treat presentation. Not a single paper ruffled. Either you're losing your touch or they're really jammed in there. You suppose there could be a lot to learn about dancing from studying the movements of alien beasts. You might acquire unique insight into the very soul of rhythmic movement by obsessing over the way an alien cat monster kills an alien snake monster. But you feel you must solidify your foundational moveset before you attempt this bold, exotic evolution. Indeed. You gracefully avoid caring about these guns at all. Wow, that sounds incredibly dangerous. Probably the only way to get Jude to care about dancing, though. Not that you really care what Jude cares about, since what he cares about tends to be extremely dorky without exception. You hope he's okay, though. Incredibly dorky. Tends to be incredibly dorky. A gun that exclusively fired pet treats into the open, waiting mouths of friendly pets might be the only gun in the world. Worlds? You guess? That you could see yourself using. You are floored by this personal discovery. You've really reached the end of your arc. Oh, wow. Guns and pogs. Two of the dumbest things you can think of. A match made in heaven. On a planet far from Earth. The guns don't need batteries to fire. Probably. You're not interested, regardless. You just don't really see the endgame in dumping your precious spice mix, which you love, all over a pile of guns, which you hate. Byers is too sweet for guns. It's a positive attribute. He's also too dumb for guns, which is more neutral. Whatever the things in your basement, in the basement, your attic are, don't, seems to require a loose pile of guns. Points in their favor, you guess? Alright, let's read this the two ways it's meant to be read. Whatever the thing in the basement is, it doesn't seem to require a loose pile of guns. Point in its favor, you guess? Or, whatever the things in your attic are, they don't seem to require a loose pile of guns. Points in their favor, you guess? Sorry, just jamming out to music. The control panel is unmoved by your gazelle-like grace and refuses to open the door. Philistine. The control panel is scandalized by your hot stepping and refuses to open the door. Prude. These are better suited to powering puppers, like your sweet puppo you left back home. You hope your pupperoo is all right, dear sweet precious Pupplestiltskin. You shove one at the panel, kind of without even looking at it. You hold it there for a second. Nothing happens. You put it back in your pocket. You had no faith in its idea. You had no faith in this idea, so its failure doesn't bother you. You drop a couple E-cell batteries onto the panel. Nothing happens. You guess the technology isn't compatible? The idea that Spice Mix would power an alien door, shaky at best. The control panel is not pigeon-powered. You hope. You stick a pin in that idea just in case you don't find a less whimsical power source. This diagram reminds you that machines, such as, for instance, doors, sometimes require power sources. Like this? Womp. Oh well. Hey! Hi Joey, how's it going? Not great. I accidentally put everything in lockdown. Or maybe it was in lockdown before, and I somehow got past one door? That's probably it. The Tetrarch has extremely high security. What's the deal? Is he really paranoid, or is your planet really dangerous? It must be if everyone's house is full of guns. Actually, my hive is pretty different. It's a lot cleaner, for one thing. And it has a tree growing in it for my Lucis. And there's no guns. That sounds really nice. What does he even need so many guns for, anyway? Well, I guess it's okay to tell you since you're another Rustblood. But don't tell anyone else. It's a major secret. I don't know a single person on your entire planet. I don't know a single other person on your entire planet. Oh, right. Okay, but yeah. So we're rebelling. Uh-huh. It's okay. You can take a minute. I know it's a lot to process. Rebelling against what? The man? Wait. Why did it color it that way? No, the heiress is a... No, the heiress is a girl. Oh my god. That fucking distracted me. Oh, you're right. You're an alien. Okay. Some context. The heiress is a murdering tyrant who holds our whole planet in her wicked finny fist. Finny? Yeah, she's a sea dweller and a fuchsia blood. One of only two. The other one... Well, she's really far away all the time, leading to the conquest of other galaxies or whatever. Which is lucky for us, because she's incredibly powerful. Not so lucky for the people in the other galaxies, though. Uh-huh. Oh, yeah, that's true. But anyway, the heiress is enough to deal with. The other Highbloods follow her, and of course she has her drone army. Well, of course, ain't that always just the way? Yeah. I was kidding! I don't know what Highbloods or drone armies or anything are. I hate to be all, hi, I'm new here on your planet. Can you gradually bring me up to speed on literally everything? Watch in amazement as I stun you with my penetrating cluelessness. Feast your eyes on my badly executed jokes. You're pretty upbeat about all this. I think if I was suddenly shot across the galaxy or whatever, I'd be flipping out. Aren't you currently bleeding out under a ton of rocks? I guess so. It's kind of annoying to have no idea what's going on. Okay, well, the drones are the things flying around outside. They'll take us into custody, Hi, welcome to the stream. They'll take us into custody if they see us, assuming they don't kill us outright by firing missiles into our bodies until we're dead. Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, a lot of this can wait until we get you to safety. I'm gonna go find your hover pad now. Talk to you soon. It looks like actually you weren't powering the door up with the power cell as you thought. From the override detected lockdown re-engaged message, it seems like you were hacking it? Let's go with hacking. You missed precisely one room. There was some Man in the Moon stuff. Buyers, shit on the desk, like an imbecile, squawking. It was great. Okay, so neither of these respond to that. That saves a lot of time. Oh hey, the tablet's doing the thing again. Serpent 2. Time for the grubbles. Fuck. I forgot how to spell the grubbles. Yep, I knew it. Hey Xerox, you there? Can't really go anywhere else with the debris slowly crushing my body. Oof. Right, sorry. It's okay. It doesn't sound okay. Try not to move too much. Okay, I'll try. I'm going to pass out a little now. Wait, real quick. I'm having trouble with this security puzzle, you could call it. I solved the one in the basement, no sweat, but this one kind of seems different. Security puzzle? You mean the serpent ROM that Gog Dammek rigged up to his power hexagrid? I wouldn't have used those words. If you think that's what I'm talking about, it probably is. Oh, but if you think that's what I'm talking about, it probably is. Yeah, that's... And the hexagrid. There's another one? A different one? I think so. The start screen is different anyway. And the power is still on, so I don't know what it would be connected to. His Hive security, probably. He's always tinkering with it to make it more complex. Yeah, for the one in the basement, I only had to eat the letters. But now, they're different? There's different letters to eat, but I don't know what letters to eat, if that makes sense. Oh, it's probably... redacted. Oh. Sorry I had to take a med... Oh, that tastes awful. Oh. Oh, that should not have dissolved that quickly. Okay. Blah. Sorry about that. Oh, really? No, wait, sorry, I meant... Yeah, I got it. No, that's not it. What? I keep typing it in, but it keeps getting changed to a bunch of X's. Maybe it's that new security software I installed? It must stop me from posting my password to the chat. Really? Let me try. Mrs. Taylor Thomas 80. Can you see that? Yeah, right? Mrs. Taylor Thomas 80? Oh my god! What's that? No! You told me it would turn into X symbols! Well, you're using the Tetrarch's tablet. It wouldn't know your password. I can't believe I did that. I'm sorry. I'm going home. I could never show my face on this planet again. Mrs. Taylor Thomas 80. Oh. What? Mrs. Taylor Thomas 80 seems like a nice password. I'd never guess that. You must be really smart, Joey. No, apparently I'm super stupid. What's so embarrassing about it? Everybody makes mistakes. It's just... Well, I guess it's the name of a boy I like. Really? Don't tell anyone, but that's what my password is too. Oh? Do you have a girl you like? Oh no, it's a boy. Oh, for some reason I thought you were a boy this whole time. I am. Oh. Realizing Joey growing up quite a bit this day. Huh. Joey's reaction to entertaining the possibility of gay, even briefly. Huh. So, not to rush you or anything, but I'm still dying in rocks. About the security console. Yeah! About that. Oh, I know. I'm looking forward to all of Joey's bisexuality. Just... what a disaster. What a train wreck. We stand. Can you, like, give me a hint? It's the name of our band, but there's a couple different ways to spell it. That's pretty weird. Yeah, we keep going back and forth between the Grubbles and the Grubbles. I actually don't know which one it is right now. Yeah, right? Well, I'll scout around and see if I can find something. He's bound to have written it around here somewhere. Something, right? I hope so. I'm gonna conserve my strength a little bit, maybe. I'm getting kind of dead. Hang in there. I'll be there as soon as I can. Oh! Thar she blew. This door is pretty intimidating. The spear sticking through it manages to be significantly more intimidating. Yeah, the heiress sure was gunning for this place. Also, wow. Whoever threw the spear is definitely the most intimidating, though, so it's a good thing they don't seem to be around. The feed on the top TV monitor looks like the room you were in a moment ago. It's weird to see it from this perspective. Also, it looks slightly different than you remember. The one on the left seems to be an error message. But you don't recognize the other two at all. Wait, is that Zephyros in the bottom one? His big monster parent thing is helping him out. And, that's... You are supremely creeped out. No. No, you don't think so. You would rather not dance for Dammek's creepy monitors. You would prefer not to. You wouldn't have minded too much if they just fell off the wall. This whole spying setup is really unsettling. That big monster thing on the bottom monitors, looks pretty nice, actually. Seems to be trying to help Zephyros, if that is indeed Zephyros under there. You wish you could give it a treat for being so helpful? You wonder if this is a live feed. The one on the top screen looks slightly off. The book is there. The book is there. I picked that book up. You could go in there, leave a pog on the floor, and then come back out to see if you could see it. But you don't care all that much, so you won't. The one on the left does look busted, but not in an out-of-power way. More like in technical difficulties way. Yeah, probably. They already look pretty dusty. Geez, does Dammek not clean anything, ever? Not even his creepy surveillance monitors? Byers has no interest in getting tangled up in whatever creepy surveillance games Dammek is playing with this setup. You make that decision on Byers' behalf, and you're sticking to it. Could the monitor on the far left be of the room with the portal? The one where you came through or whatever? That would make sense. That does seem to be a Lucis on the bottom screen, but you can't make out enough details to look it up in your Book of Beasts. Gotta wait for a closer look, you suppose. Help. You can't really see all that well at the moment. You aren't really in the mood or the right frame of health to go menacing your neighbor with this cubet. That sounds kind of like a jerk move under the best of circumstances, which these decidedly are not. Your beautiful gander precipice has become the bricks of your tomb. I know, right? This is good music. You suppose that if he had, you to choose a way to go, actually, you still wouldn't have picked this one. Not really a lot you can do for your poor gander precipice from under all this rubble, even if you use your Cubat. You aren't exactly sure how you'd even use your Cubat for that, but then again, you did take a pretty sizable chunk of rubble pretty much directly to the nug bone. Yeah, right? If only your telekinesis were powerful enough to restore your gander precipice to its former beauty. If only! You guess that as long as you're wishing, you'd like not to be trapped under rubble anymore either? A classic Gander Precipice Falls, Rustblood Dies ending. Ah. Alas, both are broken beyond all hope of repair. You would lay down a mournful lyrical dirge about the tragic passing of your Gander Precipice if only you weren't if only you weren't under too much weight for your bellow sacs to adequately inflate. You've seen worse on the Velvet, but rarely. You would pour one out for your poor Gander Precipice, but in your current predicament, that'd just mean pouring it on yourself. You resolve to give it a proper send-off when you have a little more mobility. There's something about going through the game this way that's fun because it's like anti-solving it. I have to figure out what the solution is and then do everything but that. You just don't have that kind of range, and you can't get any closer while trapped under this rubble. Also, that would be pretty rude. You can't play flarp with your neighbor right now. You can barely move, and besides, they probably wouldn't have their own flarp manual. And it's a pain to share. Yeah, right? It's fun. You could borrow a new unbent spoon from your neighbor, if only you weren't slowly being crushed to death by rubble. Sigh. It's always the little things that get in the way, isn't it? There's no response. It doesn't say the hint button is unavailable. It says there's no response. Your pusher playbook stresses the importance of teamwork, but you barely know your neighbor. Not like you know Tetrarch Dammek. Yeah, sure thing. As soon as you aren't being crushed to death by rubble, you'll skip on over to your neighbor's hive to offer them a nice turgid grub juice. Swinging a weapon, yeah, that'll do. That's the same. And at this distance in your condition, you wouldn't even wobble it. In the past, you felt like a petulant tyrant, obsessed with social media and branding, would make a great villain for a flirt campaign. But as you lie here, crushed by the rubble of your own beautiful Gander precipice, you wonder if that might be a little too on the scent bulb. Contemplating trying to take down one of the heiress's plentitude of billboards with a bent spoon while pinned by debris. It's a very depressing metaphor for the rebellion in general, now that Tetrarch Dammek is wherever he is. Your rebellious raps can't save you now. Wait, maybe they can! You took a deep breath to get ready to say some rhymes, and it hurt so bad that you passed out for a second. Not a lot of plays for engaging in an enormous inanimate opponent while totally immobile. Pretty big oversight, you think? These grub juice cans are technically illegal since the heiress announced claw gunk, but the hoofbeast is sort of out of the hoofbeast enclosure on that one. Okay, that's that. You guess you should have made a run for it when you had the chance. It's all up to the alien now. All right, let's see one of the last screens. Looking good. There's like 2 more left after this. Love the food here. Oh, gross. Someone left food out and a big bug got into it. Or he eats bugs? Possibly that's all anyone here eats. You really, really wish you'd eaten something before you got here. Clean. Nope. 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 Not your bug, not your bowl, not your problem. This hole is what you get when you build an elevator into your house while at the same time not caring if people fall down holes. The platformer is down in the basement. You can still hear the sound of that wild animal below. According to the Big Book of Beasts, which I can apparently use here, these are apparently supplicatidids. Supplicatidids? Supplicatidids. They are, just as you feared, apparently quite large. This imagery is completely opaque to you, and is definitely not 3 Wolf Moon. It's not 3 Wolf Moon. It's not 3 Wolf Moon. It must have some sort of deep cultural significance to the inhabitants of this world. Oh, what a daring dream. To dance with the Chitterthroat Moonsingers beneath an alien sky. You had no idea you wanted this, and yet here you are, wanting it. It's definitely 3 Wolf Moon. It's 3 Wolf Moon. Oh! No, this will never do. Your tabs have razzmatazz, but they lack elegance. And these are creatures of elegance. The scroll leans a lot heavier on the whole moonbug aesthetic and than the whole electric double snake monster favored by the diagram. You hear his tiny little belly rumbling at the sight of the tasty to him bug feast. Easy there, buyers, you say. For all we know, those things are the size of a minivan and just as likely to be full of kids. Yeah, right? This little gathering of the Mantis Moon Triumvirate looks spicy enough already. The Mantis Moon Triumvirate. The Mantis Moon Triumvirate. That is 3 Wolf Moon. The mantises disdain your batteries. They chitter insults directly to you across the veil of silken scroll. Find them, Joey. Find them and destroy them. You could absolutely You could absolutely picture this oddly captivating mantis trifecta rendered in a cardboard disc. It would be the jewel of your collection, if you had one. These are Jude's, remember? What do mantises eat? Besides their husbands, you mean? Darn, why do zoo books insist on only reporting the most ghoulish animal facts? You assume this is a trophy for Best Terror Cat Menace Fawn Thrash Bronco in show? Okay, this is getting a little ridiculous. Who locks the door to their kitchen? Is he worried someone's gonna steal his... Okay, there's no way he eats bugs, right? Right? Damn it, Dammek! God damn it! Gog damn it! Wow, a big screen TV. You're kind of blown away. This Tetrarch Dammek guy is obviously some kind of millionaire moneybags. No VCR though. Weird. Ballet is all about change and fluidity of movement. Every performance, no matter how practiced, is truly unique because of the minor variations which a living body cannot help but produce. Something that is never the same twice can hardly be called static. Yeah, that toe tapping rhythm of alien static. Yeah. No, sorry, you can't dance to this. No pets here. Standing over here creeps you out, though. You can feel that statue staring a hole in the back of your head. You wonder if they have pogs here? Perhaps festooned with the popular characters of their animated television shows? Seems to be powered, just not playing anything. Or maybe this is TV here? You sprinkle just a dash of the spice mix in the air just in front of the TV. The static draws it in, and it sticks to the screen. Hey, he seems reasonably entertained. No, it's just a TV. No snake imagery or gears to be found. You pick a page at random and accidentally spend... Okay. More Muscle Beast tumescence. It's not in there. Maybe it's in the big book of bugs, or maybe the bug is actually classified as food. You won't get the information you need researching a model. You need to study the real thing. Honk. You get it all... bug wet? No way! You might need this thing. It reeks of critical importance, and definitely won't vanish in the next act. And because you're not dunking it in Dammek's bug goulash, and that's thankfully all it reeks of. Buyers would probably chomp this bug right up, but it might be poisonous to his delicate little system. Oh, who are you kidding? He's a pigeon. He's basically a garbage disposal that the universe accidentally gave wings to. You just don't want to watch him peck at the eyes of some bug trash leftovers. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's definitely the only thing that's keeping you from eating this awful bug meal. It's blandness quotient. If you put them in there, you'd be leaving it in there. And you still kind of want these. For sentimental reasons, if nothing else. They're from Earth. And they're E-cells, just like you. And they didn't really fit anywhere. Less like you. You fit in your room just fine. You drop one in. Why not? It's gross, but maybe that's just the kind of mood you're in. Doesn't look hungry. Mostly looks... eaten. You really don't want that stuff to spill. That... food? You sort of have to assume it's food, don't you? As much as you wish you could pretend otherwise. You picture a bug, you picture the bug getting up and dancing in the glop and yep, you just threw up a little bit. Nothing over here, so this, yeah, I can pretty safely stay on this side of the room. You very easily avoid the hole in the floor. You don't have to use any of your impressive dancer's grace to do it. You're a pretty good dancer, but you're not dancing across empty space good. Yet. The hole is not a pet. It is simply a round absence of floor. Or square in this case. You'd kind of rather not agitate whatever the weird monster is down there. Also, it might not think these are food and choke, and you don't want that either. Wait, it might... also, it might think these are food and choke, and you don't want that either. Either way, that'd be bad. These are too small... These are too small to fill this hole. You need something like triple Z or something. You don't have a whole lot of time to be messing around. If you let him go down there, you're not confident he'd be able to find his way back. And yeah, he'd just have to follow the light, but Byers isn't as smart as most moths. The weird portal is still down there. Yeah, you can see it glowing, but maybe you should hold on to the diagram for now? That's Starship Troopers, isn't it? A computer! You wonder if Dammek ever makes his own video games as a means of hashing out his problems, like Clarissa does. Clarissa is so cool. It would be cool if his futuristic computer automatically sensed your movements and provided some accompanying music, but it doesn't. Or maybe it usually does, but it's locked down right now? Maybe it will someday. Dare to dream. Which bit? Okay, that's more Muscle Beast tumescence. Actually, yeah. If Dammek has this nice computer, why are so many of his notes handwritten? Is he worried about hackers? Are there alien hackers? You remind yourself that while aliens are apparently real, hackers are mostly fake. No, they aren't. Haven't you seen the movie Hackers? Byers doesn't know how to use this computer. Neither do you, maybe, since it belongs to a paranoid alien, but Byers especially doesn't. Oh, right in the keyboard. Yep, in it goes. You remind yourself to ask Dammek if he can read his keyboard while lifting it up over his head. Then later when he tries, all the spice will dump onto his face. Oh, exquisite. You're sure you'll be able to bring that up naturally, assuming you ever meet him, and that neither of you are killed, and that you're able to get back to your respective home planets, and all of those things. It seems to be running on AC power. You look around for the surge protector and see none. Wow. Dammek is playing with fire. There's no POG port. Weird. There's also no 3.5 floppy drive. Maybe this computer's less advanced than you first assumed. You can't rule out the possibility that this alien computer may actually be alive and want treats, but you still haven't seen it do anything to earn them. You're pretty spooked by the one downstairs, so you don't want to agitate the statue. You know it's dumb, but you'd just really rather not. You numbly avoid the deer cat monster statue, just as you nimbly avoided the real one downstairs. It was nimbly. It's not hungry. Or maybe it's just saying that to maintain its chiseled figure. The noble beast disdains the pogs. What's the matter, noble beast? Can't hang with the sick tricks of a veteran slammer? You don't care about the pogs, of course, but hell if you'll let some woodland statuary look down its nose at you just because you imagined it did. This is one of the low-energy interior statues that's so good for the environment. You toss some of the spice mix at the statue's nostrils. Since it doesn't sneeze or anything, you can now feel like 99.9% certain that this isn't a real elk just pulling the old fake statue gag on you. But not 100. Byers flies up and perches in the statue's antlers with supreme serenity, and you can't help but notice quite a smug little expression on his bird face. You put him back in your pocket. You hold up the sketchy diagram so the deer cat statue can see. It seems to have no feelings about it one way or the other. Dammek has gone back and forth between the Grubbles and the Grubbles several times. The Grubbles seems to be the current favorite, though, at least until he crosses it out and writes the other one beneath it. So that's an E. And that's an S. I know the R now, at least. Okay. Photographic memory, go! I'm not looking in the corner. Fuck you. Oh, okay. Oh, fuck. I ran into the wall instead. That was lucky. The Grubbles. It's the Grubbles! Oh. Hi. Hi there. I'm sorry. Well, I figured out the game, but the monster chased me into, I'm fairly confident this is a kitchen. It's really gross, but anyway, I'm keeping you informed. Monster? Wait, sorry, I'm a little woozy. The deer cat. Oh, yeah, now I remember. The Tetrarch's Lucis. Okay, sure. Hey, while we have a second, maybe you can fill me in on what that means? What means? What's a Lucis? Wow. What? That's just about the saddest thing I ever heard get said. Yeah, cultural differences, etc., etc. Can you bring me up to speed on this wild beast stalking me? Why does Dammek even have a crazy cat monster in his house? It's not usually crazy. Your Lucis takes care of you. Protects you from wild monsters and also dying from, like, whatever, you know? I guess mine's not too good at that since I'm still being crushed by heavy debris. Not really? Are they at all, are they all beasts? Well, yeah, what else would they be? And they're always this rambunctious. I mean, it seems like it'd be pretty crazy if everyone in your family had their own rip-snorting monster. What's a family? It's some adults and their kids, or one adult and some kids, or some kids and their babysitter, and the conspicuous absence of a father who isn't garbage. Adults? Yeah, why? Adults live on your planet? Yeah, of course. Is that not where they live? For you? For your adults? Somehow this is the weirdest thing you've said yet. Once you come of age, you get sent off planet for your ordeals. And that's it? Nobody ever comes back? Ever? No exceptions. There are no adults on Arternia. I think this might be another "wow, I'm an alien" conversation. Better save for when you're not pinned under a bunch of rocks. Probably. I'm gonna have to rest for a sec. Okay, well, I'm going to be focused on finding the hover pad. I'll let you know when I do. Thanks, Joey. I'm gonna focus on maintaining consciousness, I think. Good plan. Stay alive. Kid power. Oh, geez, that was awful. I'm sorry. Bye. Oh, this is a mess. You don't want to tangle with that terrifying deer cat while he's still so terrifying? Maybe if he could be calmed down somehow, or at the very least distracted? The cabinet is empty. Kind of a running theme today. Also for most of your life. Wait! There's a bowl in the back! A clean bowl! Maybe Dammek missed it too? That would explain why it's actually clean. An empty bowl? That noble beast is sure to take that as an insult, and rightly so, really. It's another one on Milk Beast. According to the Big Book of Beasts, this is a door. If you want to use it to learn more about the deer cat on the other side of the door, you're going to have to find a way to get on the other side of the door too. Possibly from a different angle, while the deer cat is distracted. You're just tossing ideas out there, but that one seemed pretty good. Wait, here's something. Every Lucis has its own particular taste, but all share a universal love of that pungent substance, Lucis milk. Huh. Weird, but you'll take it. Distract it with the portal diagram and then bolt for the door? You are confident betting your life on this creature's curiosity about weird diagrams. This is going to be a lot of interactions. You've already mined this vein of clean containers for all it's worth. This is probably a fridge, right? You get the sense that this is a fridge, given its fridge shape and its placement within what is obviously a kitchen. Oh. Are those teeth? You remind yourself not to have any birthdays here. Could be anything in there. No, it's a hunger trunk. You're not about to open Pandora's doggy bag to find out. That's the bile slaw. The crux. Wow. That's a really, really stupid name for a canned beverage. The crux. The crux. The crux. That's an amazing name for a beverage. I want to drink crux. I need to get a drink now, just so I can drink something even close to crux. Maybe I'll call it La Crux and shout it from down a hallway. It's Pepsi, actually. There. That wasn't so hard. This is Lucis milk. Milk for Lucises? Milk from Lucises. Either way, gross, but maybe it'll calm down that monster. Did he just hurl a handful of eggs into the fridge and leave it like that? Boys, you swear. Grub sauce, huh? You wonder if everyone on this planet eats nothing but bugs. Or maybe it's just Dammek. That would be worse somehow. Get. You take the Lucis milk. Maybe this'll calm that beast? This pizza must commit all sorts of pizza sins, seeing as the tastes and sensibilities of the human race were not considered during its creation. Perhaps completely unworthy of the name pizza. Maybe it's instead called a flavor disc. This is Cruel-Aid? Oh, you get it. Uh-huh. Uncanny. This place is kind of horrible. Those are some dishes, and they are dirty, and they are 100% not your problem. It's really gross. Maybe you could clean it? Yeah, you definitely traveled to a strange alien world to deep clean this guy's kitchen. That's how you want to live your life, for sure. The dishes are too filthy to use, and you're definitely not cleaning them. You're not Dammek's maid. That's the second maid mention in this house. I'm getting the feeling Dammek might be the maid, actually. Just a thought. Maids tend to start off deficient in their own aspect. Also, it'd be funny if it turned out to be like Maid of Guns or something. They're both in butler training, remember? That's the Grubbles. Also, Zephyros is a page. He's the servant of the servant. He's a servant's servant. They seem to lead up to a curving hallway. Huh. Alright, we'll be back down here, so I don't need to be completely completionist about this, but You danced your way to safety. You're not going to dance your way right back into danger. It's safe to say you already have the attention of the deer cat on the other side of the store. You feel like you're on the right track, but these treats would just whet that ferocious beast's appetite. You need something more hearty, filling, nutritious, preferably not a bug, something you could get at the Olive Garden. Shoving Pogs under the door at that rampaging beast is likely just to make it more angry. It looked angry, right? Yeah, pretty sure. You can't jump to the lethal spice mix option. You have to remember you're an invading presence in this creature's habitat. It's obviously hungry. Maybe there's something in here you can feed it? This is a kitchen, after all. What? Use buyers as a distraction? Or worse, an offering to that angry beast? You would never. Distract it with the portal diagram and then bolt for the door? You aren't confident betting your life on this creature's curiosity about weird diagrams. What, just dump it out? The quiet dignity of that fearsome beast would never permit it to drink milk directly off the filthy floor. According to the Big Book of Beasts, this is both milk from Lucises and milk for Lucises. Which makes sense, you guess. Basically how cows work, too. You dip a corner of the diagram in the milk. Or at least you try. The paper actually curls up and away from the surface of the liquid. Byers is lactose intolerant, you're pretty sure. Though this stuff may not actually contain lactose. You know what? You're not gonna overthink it. The rampaging beast out there might not like the weird smell. Weird to it, you mean. Obviously, you think it smells heavenly. And by it, you mean the spice mix, not the milk. And by it that time, you meant it the second time. Clear as a bell. It's probably already acidic enough. Or wait, maybe it's basic? Whatever, it's gross milk. You don't want to stick a battery in there. These are Pogs, not Sogs. You think maybe the milk on its own might be enough. You don't want to gild the monster lactated lily here. As a dancer, it's important that you get enough calcium. But as someone who doesn't want to throw up, it's important that you not get this stuff anywhere near your mouth. There's not one for tap dancing, though. That's fun. You guess you could wear it like a little top hat while you did your best Fred Astaire, by which you mean your worst Ginger Rogers. Backwards and in high heels, your hero. To explain that one, Ginger Rogers did everything Fred Astaire did backwards and in high heels. A ballet about how a bowl is empty? That's kind of weird. You prefer all the regular ballets, 90% of which seem to be about a doll coming to life. According to the Big Book of Beasts, very few Lucises are placated by empty bowls. Most of them take it as a grievous insult, actually. Better find something that Lucises like to fill it up with, assuming that was your plan. That was your plan, right? You have to admit, the sketchy diagram would make a fine placemat, assuming you're going for a snakeskin scrawls home decor plan. Which Dammek plainly is. Oh no, you found one clean bowl in this place. You can't have him pooping it up. By moving the spices to the bowl, you run the risk of having them scattered to the winds by a single errant sneeze. The original container does a good enough job of containing them, you think? Nothing for the batteries in the bowl? Ooh, that's fun. Crunch into a hearty bowl of hogs. Sounds like something Bubsy would do. Part of a balanced breakfast. He'd wail like it was a joke. Nothing for that either. Fascinating. Let's see. Might as well hold on to it. Even if you don't use it, it'd be polite to throw it... Even if you don't use it, it'd be polite to throw it away just in case Dammek isn't going to be back before it goes bad. Your babysitter used to put your cereal bowl in the fridge so your milk would stay cold while you ate it. It was a sweet thing to do, although sometimes cereal for dinner was a little unsatisfying. She does her best and you love her. Is that supposed to be depressing? Because that sounds good, and I kind of want cereal for dinner now, and what is my life? I have the Mrs. Dashes. I'm gonna eat cereal for dinner. I am Roxy. That's what my life is. You pick a page at random and accidentally spend a few minutes reading about... You could have fixed this to the front of the fridge, but what if Dammek came back and thought you were making fun of him? Well, you would be, so it's a win. But this thing might be important. Better keep it close. That'd kind of be a step backwards, wouldn't it? The alien fridge is probably pretty bland, but the food inside it would probably get more out of the spicing. Too bad for Dammek, because you're planning on keeping it all to yourself. Ha! Piece of shit, Dammek. You once heard that keeping batteries in the fridge makes them last longer, but you're not sure if that's true. It is. And honestly, like, if you're being really honest with yourself, you don't think it's a particularly good idea either way at the moment. Not even the no doubt astonishing technology powering this extraterrestrial Frigidaire is capable of making pogs cool. These don't need refrigeration, which, considering they probably contain some kind of meat, is sort of weird, right? You're not sure if that's weird or not. Tonight's events have decalibrated your internal weirdness adjudicator. Tap dancing at an alien's fridge, because to hell with how today's been going so far. Might as well get real weird with it. With the tragic theatrical grace of the endangered whooping crane, you avoid slipping in the exotic puddle you're now standing in. Look at how precariously this box is balanced. It sort of reminds you of ballet, you guess. You're not really feeling this one too hard, because you're still nursing the suspicion that it's just a big pile of boxed up bug blood. It is. Just the thing to cool off after you've worked up a sweat. As soon as you can make sure it's not just like a box of blood. It is. It is a box of blood. That's what it is. That's what the grub... Don't ask what grub sauce is. You don't want to know what the grub sauce is. They're already a little moist, which is kind of gross. Maybe it's just to simulate sinew and flesh so your pets can pretend they're tearing into helpless prey. They're much less gross. You're not entirely sure what Cruel Aid is. Maybe a Pog Dissolver, sure. Why not? Alien planet, could be anything. Even probably bugs. It's probably bugs. Do batteries shock you if you put them in liquid? Are batteries actually very dangerous? No point in improving the flavor since you've got no intention of drinking that stuff, since it's probably like 90% bugs, if not 100% bugs. This stuff probably isn't pigeon safe. It's probably made of more gross bugs, which you guess is actually pretty safe for pigeons. That would probably ruin it, or reveal a secret message. Most likely ruin it. It's already being stored so efficiently in those little boxes. Why mess with success? Their viscosities seem incompatible, which is a fancy way excuse to say you're worried this process would somehow result in you getting one or both liquids on your hands, which, gross! It's clean, and this gross stack is clearly for dirty dishes only. You happen across the only clean dish in this whole kitchen, in this whole house, and possibly, you haven't seen it all yet, but it's always possible. Possibly, on this whole planet. You're not about to shove it into this fetid chamber of bug guts. Nah, it's already pretty warm. It's warm?! I got this out of the fridge! Wait, what? It was just in the fridge! Ew! It was right, Joey. Don't you remember the famous parable, "Thou shalt not put the clean alien monster milk into the dirty alien food containers, for verily thou hast struck the dromedary between the eyes"? Fair. Alright, there are probably less critical documents you could use as a makeshift dish rag if you were interested in being this guy's maid. He does look a little hungry. No. No, you're not going to feed him garbage scraps just because he's a pigeon. A little late for that, don't you think? They seem to be doing a great job being an alien boy's gross food garbage under their own power. You guess if someone were out to clean dishes, these could serve as extremely small, single-use plates? No way, you'd never serve a friendly animal a treat in such an ignoble porringer. No way, that nasty sack can stay exactly where it is. That gross, teetering sack poised on the edge of collapse, yet maintaining its balance. It's a repulsive, dark mockery of your art. Fiery hot on the outside, but with a cold, untouched center. Microwave food and ballerinas have more in common than you'd expect. Wait. Oh, okay. That just disappeared in a weird way. You're just really not eager to jostle anything in this gross kitchen, especially an open microwave. Isn't that, like, dangerous? Maybe not to bug boys. The inside of the microwave looks pretty gross. The minimal increase in the treat's esculent caliber from heating it up would be offset by the skyrocketing sepsis factor. Sounds like a good way to start a fire. You think. Wait, was it esculent? Whichever. You don't have a microwave in your kitchen, so you're not exactly sure what they do to cardboard. You don't really have any food in your kitchen, but that's not really relevant. Just depressing. That would destroy both! You don't really care about the microwave, but hey, you might need the batteries. You should always do most of your spicing during cooking, since the flavor is then suffused more evenly throughout the dish and you can then be more economical with your spices. None of this applies to microwaving, though. Whoa! You black out for half a second and reawaken with no memory of the horrible thing you almost just attempted. It's gross in there. If you're going to be carrying this thing around, and for some reason you seem to be committed to that, you don't want to get a bunch of leftover bug food or whatever on it. Ascend. Looks like Dammek's pretty into guns. You resolve to be a little more cautious when solving his goofy paranoia puzzles. Also, if you ever, like, meet him in person. Looks like these stationary targets were a lot worse at... Okay. Looks like these stationary targets were a lot worse at dodging than you are. Maybe you don't pat yourself on the back too hard about that one. You guess Dammek probably prefers to solve his problems with guns instead of dancing. Although he is apparently a musician, so who's to say? Potentially. Look at this aim. You huck the pet treat right at the target. Whammo! You did it, but at what cost? A pet treat, cast in range. The regret consumes you. If only regret were a pet, and instead of consuming you, it consumed that treat because you hadn't thrown it. Also, how's your aim today, Thorny? Doing great. What about that little guy? Oh, that little guy? Don't worry about that little guy. You hurl a pog at the target. It misses. By a lot. You didn't even see where it went. You weren't even looking. You're not even sure you're through it. You assume it will be very important later, returning at your hour of greatest need. Your desperation to find a use for these batteries is reaching a fever pitch, but you're not sure you should pitch them at that target. The only thing you're sure of is that that joke sucked. You dust the target for prints, pretending it to be a detective. It's fun. It seems like the culprit was some bullets. You are uncomfortable with the ethical implications of weaponizing buyers, but you resolve to return to this issue at a later date. Pinning this thing to a target and shooting it would be a good way to work out your frustration at being brought here against your will. But this thing might be useful at some point, so maybe not. Also, you hate guns. Some of the holes in the wall behind look as big around as this bowl. The bottom part, anyway. Maybe the architectural exit wounds are as big as the top part. Dammek seems to have completely missed the highest point targets on two of these. That doesn't have anything to do with milk, except that you felt like dunking on Dammek by pointing it out. Pfft. Amazing. You don't need a hover pad to defy gravity. By hovering, it will be immune to your taps. It has a dreamy kind of logic to it, doesn't it? That sounds like a good way to turn the Lucis milk radioactive or short-circuit the hover pad with spilled milk. Possibly both. You don't mean to brag, but you're pretty sure you can carry an empty bowl by yourself. You pick a page at random and... Are the force field and the portal based on the same technology? You kind of doubt it. The hoverpad seems to be less dependent on the serpent and music box aesthetic, plus the hoverpad has not launched you across space against your will. It will only hover you across a much smaller amount of space, with your permission. You assume. Byers doesn't really need any help hovering. He can fly. But he appreciates the offer in the extremely limited capacity to which he is able to comprehend it. It's got the same, maybe a bug sheen that a lot of stuff in here has, but it's not a bug. You think. And bugs aren't food anyway, jeez. This place is starting to get to you. It doesn't seem to need batteries. That would be kind of an underwhelming feature for a hover pad, you have to say. It doesn't need pogs to serve as tiny little wheels. It's a hover pad. Boy, you sure feel silly about the pogs as wheels suggestion. You really put everything you had into that, and you know you came up short. It's fun to think of the hover pad as a faithful steed, but ultimately, it's just a machine. Looks like Dammek has speakers all over his house. You know, for a guy who's apparently obsessed with conspiracy and secrecy, he sure seems to be kind of a showy jackass. Ah, yes, there's the medium. There's James Roach. There's Toby Fox. There's someone. These bands look pretty cool. Like, not exactly your thing, but pretty cool nonetheless. Whew. Only a little more. Whoa, dancing to speakers that are specifically not playing music? That is pretty high concept. You're ready for off-Broadway as soon as you get back on Earth. Nope, they're holding firm up there. You guess that was kind of a jerk move in retrospect, trying to make his speakers fall off the shelf. If he's actually at your house, you hope he's being a better involuntary guest than you. Those speakers probably aren't alive. You've seen most of the house by now, and you're like 80% sure about this. They might have once been big weird bugs. You can't rule that out, but at the very least, they're dead big weird bugs now. No stand-up style speakers on any of these pogs, although several do feature anthropomorphic boomboxes, their plastic faces contorted in aggression, or perhaps in existential horror. Well, buck up, boomboxes. In this life, you either play the music or you dance to it. Otherwise, you're just a nobody. From here, it looks like they've got power cables running directly into the wall. Wow. On second thought, that also describes like your TV or even just a lamp. You rescind the wow. They're out of your spice and reach. What a shame. You had a lot of rhythm hopes riding on those turmeric waves. But your ship has run. Aground. It's sunk. Rest in peace, the SS Spicy Speakers. He flaps up there, and then flaps right back down, as if to say, yes, it is a cute little ledge for me to perch on. But there's no room. It's covered in speakers and trash, just like most of this room and house. Wow. Ice cold, buyers, but you can't disagree. Yeah, your diagram doesn't seem to match this thing. The more of Dammek's tech you see, the more convinced you are. You pick a page at random and accidentally spend a few minutes reading about the Oh sure, one clean bowl in the entire house, but this is like the 9th set of speakers. Priorities. You don't care about ruining the speakers, but it'd be a shame to waste the milk. Why do these all have the same dorky symbol on them? Boys, you swear. What luck! A vet medkit, just like the one you forgot to bring along for the trip. Maybe. It could just as easily be some lame normal medkit for non-veterinarians, but you're optimistic. A hover pad? This really is the future. By which you mean this is an alien planet or something. Wait, is this the future? This big, messy pile of weapons and percussion instruments is really hampering your ability to use these stairs. Sheesh. Just plunge your hands into the pile of death, huh? You think you'll look around for a bit of something here to assist you. Yeah, in more ways than one. Yeah. Your mind drifts to your old dreams. Professional vet by day, professional dancer by night. Or was it the other way around? Or something else entirely? It feels like it's already been a very long time since you were at home, safe in your room. Or playing in the yard with your dog and your brother. You guess for the time being, your dreams are the only place you'll be seeing them. The hardened mass of this smelly weirdo's clothes might actually make for a hard enough surface to tap on, but the idea of the crusty mass being broken up by your foot stomps, you may be tripping and falling into the pile of dirty clothes, it's just really, really gross. Only if you were performing gismelly. Oh, that joke was worse than the clothes. Some delicate instruments in there. You wouldn't want to jostle them too much. Just, yeah. Mobius double reach around. Just pour it right in there, huh? Full carton of thick, chunky, loosest milk right into this bag of xenobiological curatives and implements. You'll think you'll pass. What vet medkit is considered complete without a bowl? Most of them, unfortunately. Which is why you had to go digging around for one. With both of these close at hand, you'll be ready to treat any injured animals that cross your path. Even monsters! Okay, maybe not monsters. You'd prefer your patients to be a little calmer than that. My apologies. I needed a bit of Jenny kibble. Okay. Treating that thing's chronic case of force field disease may be your only hope of getting home, but these aren't the right tools to treat those serpents. Snakes! You meant to say snakes? This place seems pretty rough and tumble, so you feel better knowing that if Byers were to hurt himself somehow, you have the instruments to treat him. Yeah, snakes, not serpents. Risky move. For all you know, your spice mix could be lethal to the animals on this planet. One stray shake and all this specialized animal saving gear becomes less than useless. There are what look to be some high-tech medicinal instruments in here, but you'll have to hope they run on their own power. Not that you've had a lot of luck in that department today. The power department, where things are on. You don't know what good it'll do, but sure, why not? You put one single pog into the vet medkit. A very sensible idea. You put a pet treat in the vet medkit for safekeeping, and also because it's cute. You feel like you would have been afraid to do this earlier today. Too worried about pets getting into the medkit. But now you feel like it's fine, especially since you're going to be holding on to this thing for the foreseeable future. It looks like they've already been nibbled on a bit. You guess that deer monster just gets the run of the place? You slip a pog into the pile of clothes. Oh yes. Advantage Joey. Somehow. A handful of batteries and a sock would be a pretty deadly weapon if you were in the market for one of those, and that didn't require you touching an alien boy's dirty socks. That's not going to do anything about the smell. Maybe they don't wash their clothes on this planet. They might just throw them away when they've worn them for a while. Byers looks like he'd like to settle down in that pile of discarded boy clothes and just completely get his nest on, shredding and pooping to his gross little heart's content. Nasty Byers. Have some dignity. Yeah, maybe if this were a diagram for a dang washing machine. You pick a page at random and accidentally spend a few minutes swapping out this bowl with Dammek's dirty clothes is a really roundabout way to get a dirty bowl, especially since you were just in a room full of dirty bowls. Pouring milk all over these clothes would be a better prank if they weren't so stained and awful smelling. You pour just a little Lucis milk onto the lethal heap, in the charmingly naive hope that the pile will just slide out of your way. If it is, it's doing it too slowly to do it any good. Or you. Clearing this pile away one bowlful at a time, you wouldn't even know where to start. Okay, I can safely just think of all the possibilities for an alien animal care held in this little kit. You kind of regretted not taking the one from your bedroom, but this more than makes up for that absurd blunder. The hover sled does have nice antlers, but you're pretty sure it's not actually an alive animal. There's nothing you can do to help these targets. They're afflicted with a terminal case of being completely shot to pieces and never alive in the first place. Zephyros says this is his, but it looks like Dammek, has other ideas. Oh well, Dammek isn't here. Now you can help Zephyros with it, and help Zephyros by returning it. I found the hover pad. Hover sled? Whatever it's called, I got it. I can come save you. Excellent. Although, I think I'm a little boxed in. Between the deer cat and this pile of guns and drums, I don't really have a clear path. Oh well, I'll figure it out. Well, the Tetrarch made some pretty extensive modifications to my hover pad. That might be able to help. Yeah, this guy doesn't sound like he has a good sense of respect for boundaries or personal property. Oh, he hates it. Tetrarch Dammek says the concept of private property is a vehicle for exploitation and the tool by which the high blood subjugate the low blood underclass. Well, I'm new here, so I can't really comment, I guess. Anyways, it'll be back in your hands now, so problem solved. Hey! Okay, I'll give it a shot. Talk to you soon. You don't mean to brag, but you're pretty sure you can carry an empty bowl by yourself. That sounds like a good way to turn the Lucis milk radio... Okay, done that. Done that. Okay. With this stuff, you'll have everything you'd need to treat any hurt animals who cross your path. Even alien ones. Actually, with this stuff in particular, maybe exclusively alien ones. Also, let's just do this already. Done. Alright. The bowl is already holding the milk pretty expertly. Transporting loose milk by way of hover beam sounds like playing with fire. Can you use the bowl of Lucis milk to distract the deer cat while you maybe, like, you're not sure? Do something with the vet med kit? There's a lot of variables to consider. You haven't really ironed out all the kinks yet. Treating that thing's chronic case of force field disease. Yeah, okay. That's the snakes. So I think I've done all of these. Yeah. Nice. Okay. The Big Book of Beasts recommends placing a skittish or aggressive Lucis's food somewhere accessible and then getting the heck out of the way. It's actually very helpful. Thank you, Big Book of Beasts. You dip a corner of the diagram in the milk, or at least you try. The paper actually curls up and away from the surface of the liquid. You aren't going to force it. Byers is lactose intolerant, you're pretty sure. Although the stuff may not actually contain lactose. You know what? You're not actually going to overthink it. The rampage and beast out there might not like the weird smell. Weird to it, you mean. Obviously, you think it smells heavenly. And by it, you mean the spice mix, not the milk. And by it that time, you meant it the second time. Clear as a bell. Okay, so that's more of that. Pogs, not sogs. You're not especially strong, but you think you can manage to carry a book without xenotechnological assistance? Even a big book. Also, you're pretty strong. You shouldn't be down on yourself like that. No. No, spilling this precariously full bowl of nasty milk all over yourself while you tap dance in place doesn't seem like a great use of your resources, such as the resource of a body not covered in nasty milk. You could, of course, walk along with this bowl of milk on your head and not spill a drop. You're just that graceful. Not that you ever would, but you could. Hefting this chunky slop up to that shelf is a recipe for disaster. A bowl of milk is an impractical subject for target practice. Then again, it's kind of impractical to just shoot the bejesus out of your own wall, so who's to say? Maybe Dammek shoots at bowls of milk sometimes. You get the feeling he shoots at a lot of things. Frequently. Weaponized precision hovering. A beautiful dream, but the technology's just not there yet. You guess. You don't really know how to use this thing. There's nothing you can do to help these targets. They're afflicted with a terminal case of being completely shot to pieces and never alive in the first place. It'd be polite to put this back where you found it if you weren't planning on holding onto it forever. Which I am. In your haste, you've accidentally tried to give a bowl of milk to a pile of clothes. It's understandable. You've had a pretty rough evening. And these do have antlers on them, or at least Dammek's weird symbol, which sorta looks like antlers. These can stay right where they are, really. Why would you bother to clean up Dammek's clothes with a hover pad? It's a gross misuse of such amazing technology. Emphasis on gross. This bowl of milk could be the solution to your problem. The other problem, not this one. This is a whole different problem. Oh, terrible news. The pile of dangerous garbage does seem to be past saving. Unless you can find some way to lift it the heck out of your way, that's the best treatment, in your amateur professional opinion. You pick up... Oh yeah, it looks like the beams from the portal may be blasted up through the floor, destroying half the stairs and knocking this lethal crap all over the place. All over the place, especially in your way, especially in that place in particular. What are the odds? Yep, we've seen all that. So let's just bump-a-dum-bump. Bump-a-dum-bump. That'll be fine, right? It'll be fine. If the Tetrax Lucis is upset. It might have gotten hurt. Got X? Oh, got 10. That's cute. Anyway, I did see a whole lot of blood smeared up to a huge hole in the floor. Oh no. It was brown, so it's pretty old? I'm not sure what you mean. The Tetrarch is a bronze blood. So that's either Dammek or his Lucis, and it's recent. Wait. Okay, you've been saying things about blood color a lot, and I've been assuming it was metaphorical. Are you saying members of your species literally have different colors of blood? Yeah, I'm a rust blood. Bronze, rust. So it's a metals thing? No, it's by color. I'm actually a burgundy blood, but maybe this isn't the best time to talk about all this. Yeah, I'll be glad to tell you all about the blood on our planet when I'm not leaking so much of it on the ground. Wow, I really thought I'd be dead by now. Don't worry, I'm coming as soon as I figure a way past this wild beast. Maybe I can give him a treat. I do have some pet treats. What's a pet? I think it would be a little weird if I described it to you, given the fact that you were like, it sounds raised by one? Huh? Let's move on. Maybe I can outrun him. I'm surprised he's been chasing you. That's really not like him. Well, now that you mention it, he didn't exactly chase me. Maybe I can sneak past him. Pretty unlikely. Wait, are you the kind of alien that's invisible and quiet? No. Yeah, no chance then. I think this might all be a misunderstanding. He's probably upset with Dammek missing and everything that's happened before you got here. I mean, it can be kind of frustrating. The Lucises, I mean. They mean well, and they try to take care of you, but they don't always know what they're doing. It's Luci! Luci Naturae. It's not always easy to understand them, you know? It's hard. Yeah, I have someone like that. Oh? Yeah, my babysitter. You'd love her. Her name has an X in it. Well, okay, if we have an upset beast on our hands, there's really only one thing to do. Yeah? Joey Clare, amateur veterinarian, is going pro. Hi, Pink. Be right back. Okay, This is for treating sick beasts, not sick beats. Yeah, I figured. They're already hovering pretty good up there. Class A hover. You're somehow back here, above the room from before, the one that you crawled out of the vent into. The hallway curved all the way around the living room and back to here? Whoever designed this house is an actual honest-to-goodness lunatic. Quite a few fiddly little metal tools in this medkit. You don't think it'd be the best idea to put this tiny armory into what seems contextually to be a microwave. The hoverpad is already a technological marvel. You're not sure you can handle the concept of it also warming food unevenly. The bowl of milk, despite being recently in the fridge, is already lukewarm. It's gross, but handy. The bowl of milk is definitely disgusting now that it's full of Lucis milk, but it's not yet a dirty dish. For it to be a dirty dish, ironically, you would need to have less of the disgusting milk in it. Up until that point, it's just a disgusting meal. Alternatively, you could wait until it goes bad, but horse may be out of the barn on that one. You somehow find the discipline to resist floating the pile of dirty dishes over your head. That would be a criminal waste of disinfectant. If any of the stuff in this fridge used to be animals, it's too late for you to do anything for them. The fridge is like a jillion tubes connected to it. It's all about the tubes. You're really not prepared to face the consequences that may spray out of those tubes if you yank the fridge away with the hoverpad. That'd kind of be a step backwards, wouldn't it? Their viscosities seem incompatible, which is a fancy way excuse. Ah, yeah. So that's still the same. Bugwater juice boxes? Dammek buys them in bulk, apparently. Maybe he used the hoverpad to bring it in. Maybe he's really strong. You don't know him. You couldn't say. There's some rehydrating gellulose in the vet med kit, so you're all set. You think back to all that brown blood on the floor of the living room. Medical attention might be what the deer cat needs, actually, but you just can't. You can't just throw the door open and come at it, stethoscope blazing. You gotta find some way to calm it down so you can make a more careful approach, preferably from the other side. The door can open on its own just fine. It's just there's an angry deer cat on the other side. Astonishingly, a problem not solved by hovering. Possibly the first you've ever encountered. Oh, I just realized I should move the... I'll lose the bowl of milk if I put it there. I gotta rub it against all the things over here. Hey, now you can get down to the bedroom. Neat. A desk strewn with guns, and a bowl of warm, thick monster milk, and thou. A repulsive tableau. I missed a few, but that's okay. Both bowl and sack are full to the brim with their respective disgusting semi-liquids. You have nothing to gain from combining them and everything to lose, especially your lunch. No room on this shelf for a little bowl of milk. It'd be very sad for a little bowl of milk. It'd be very sad for the little bowl of milk if it weren't such a gross little bowl of milk. It's just a really nasty little dish of repulsiveness. You hate it. You didn't track down the only clean bowl in this house and fill it to the brim with gross milk just to pour that milk onto this gun. You could have cut the bowl out entirely had that been your plan. This contraption appears to be supplying the door with door energy or something. It opened! The door opened. You can now proceed and ingenuously hope that your path never gets blocked by a door again. That rampaging deer cat out there is still pretty furious. You gotta find some way to distract it so you can approach from the other side. I know, right? That face. Nah, those can stay right there, piled all precariously against that bookshelf. Just totally not your problem. Someone order a vet for the gun show because these pythons have been shot. Wait, that's not how that goes. You got that wrong. You briefly muse on the anachronistic juxtaposition of a cluttered bookshelf stuffed with papers and a hover sled. Then you quit doing that and shake a leg because Zephyros needs your help! You already got a niche, comprehensive book on Lucises. You still don't know what this thing is, and you're ready to admit that it's probably alive, but it doesn't seem to be sick. All too healthy, really. In your professional, extremely grossed out evaluation, of course. No, the slime dumpster or whatever can stay behind. Oh no, this desk has a serious case of covered in stupid guns. There's nothing you can do for it. The hoverpad dumped a hodgepodge of guns, drums, and rubble into that hole, where it seems to have disintegrated on the force field. You already foolishly left one vet medkit. I can't even say that. Vet medkit behind. You're now about to dump this one down a vent shaft. It won't fit. And you don't have any plans to go back through that dangerous vent shaft, even if you are lowered gently by the careful embrace of the hoverpad. That doesn't really seem to be its style, anyway. If there's some kind of weird monster lurking down in that shaft, it'll just have to get a nice bowl of milk elsewhere. This one is spoken for. It doesn't look hungry. It looks full. But of what, you wonder? The hover pad might be able to lift this safe. It might not. But you don't have time to mess around with that right now. Zephyros needs your help. You could use your stethoscope to turn the dials and listen to the tumblers and the pins, and that's about all the safe-cracking terminology you can summon up at the moment. This is a dangerous path, but you can still manage, especially now that there's no guns and or drums on top of it. Hi. 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 You can hear the deer cat slurping the milk right on the other side. You would startle it if you went through this way. Yeah, nothing doing here. Thank God. I can just run now. I can make progress. Bam! It opened! Wait. Because once I cure this little guy, we're out of here. The monitors are already kind of hovering. Or at least they're in the air. That must be Zephyros's Lucis? Yeah, Lucis. That's Zephyros's Lucis on the bottom monitor there. Doesn't look like it needs any medical treatment at the moment, which is, oof, probably more than you can say for Zephyros. It's staticky, but that's probably not... You mean, it's probably not, like, sick. It's probably not alive. It's almost definitely not an alive thing that needs your help. You abandoned this line of speculation and returned to Zephyros. Is it just me, or is this that sound from earlier? The eerie one that was on the radios. You remember it? Is it getting broadcast from here? You can't steal Dammek's TV. What's gotten into you? This alien bug world is a bad influence. Seems to be floating pretty good on its own. It's too late. Once they reach the food stage, there's really nothing you can do. It's not sick, it's just off. Off is fine. You don't want to look at Dammek's gross bug computer. Dammek's computer is the only non-filthy, non-cluttered, non-gun bristling thing in this whole house. You can't be the one to ruin that. The deer cat is in the way, enjoying the Lucis milk you placed earlier. The plan is really coming together, except for the part where you almost brush past to get into the kitchen. That'd probably startle the heck out of him. Upon closer inspection, this animal is clearly hurt. It's time to put the resources you've gathered to their proper purpose. Of course. Examining 3 Wolf Moon. They seem pretty healthy already, and also are just an image on a scroll. They're already practically hovering, borne aloft by their chittering lunar mysticism. Lunar. You missed. Real one's over there. You're gonna go with the real thing. He's calmed down a little. A sudden hovering might send him right back into that, stoic rage from before. You flip through the pages. Let's see here. Oh, here we go. Its scientific name is apparently the cuspidated grimalkin. The cuspidated grimalkin is a chimerical union of predator and prey, with the strengths of both. Long, retractable claws and razor-sharp teeth alongside a defensive crown of stabbing horns. The speed for lightning-quick dashes and the endurance to run entire nights without tiring. Proud and resplendent, the cuspidated Grimalkin prefer to bond with bronze-blood wigglers in whom they sense a strong natural aptitude for leadership. Such aspirations in lowbloods are grounds for culling, of course, and the primary cause of death for cuspidated Grimalkin is in the defense of their treasonous wards. Anecdotal accounts suggest that those cuspidated Grimalkin who manage to survive the death of their wards will typically seek out a similarly orphaned troll and attempt to bond with them, although the selection process is naturally rather mysterious due to its staggering illegality. Several anatomical diagrams are included. From these, you think you're going to be able to treat the deer cat, which is what you're going to continue calling it for now. Cuspidated Grimalkin is a bit of a mouthful. You could use it as a bandage. Doesn't seem like it would be very clean, though, since you found it on the floor of a dirty basement and then shoved it into your pocket with all your other garbage. Buyers might be able to pluck the thorn from the deer cat's paw, and then they would be best friends. But maybe then they'd get closer to each other than they are to you, and then start to exclude you from things. You've been burned before. Better to just pluck the thorn yourself. Burned before? Joey! The deer cat looks like he has a pretty sensitive sniffer. A snootful of this stuff might send him into a frenzy. Or kill him outright, who knows? Not you, that's for sure. Alien planet! The deer cat patient is presenting symptoms that suggest it is not, in fact, a secret robot who simply needs to eat a battery to be all better. The deer cat is not Mekamaru. But the night is young. You think. The cardboard pogs just don't afford the precision you'd need to help the injured beast. And if you used a slammer, well, heck, you might as well just kick the leg right off. It's already enjoying the milk. Better not mess with success. Oh, that's definitely going to get him all agitated again. You're light on your feet, but that would still hurt him. You'd think you'd rather try using your hands, preferably with some decent veterinary instruments in them. Good baby! Oh, wow! What a cutie! But what's his name? You could ask Zephyros, you guess, but you feel like there's something between the two of you now. Something that merits a new one. I have no idea what to name this fuzzball. This absolute goof. We ride them into battle. And also ride them out of battle. Oh, I know. David Hasselpaw seems to be doing better. And so are you! You helped out an animal! An alien animal! This is a pretty big win for you. So you're riding high despite the bizarre and frightening circumstances. And speaking of riding, you show your new pal, David Hasselpaw, some of your best steps, and he seems suitably impressed. In retrospect, maybe he wasn't preparing to pounce on you those times you ran away from him before. Maybe he was just admiring your incredible grace and perhaps sensing a kindred spirit. Oh, no. You don't want to startle him. Oh, I can just go. Look at that. I can do that now. Neat. You are certainly tempted to give David Hasselpaw a big handful of treats, but they did just have a bowl of milk, and you don't even know if treats from Earth are safe or a bit friendly for big friendly deer cats from Alternia. Right, it was Alternia. Anyway, treats can wait. Zephyros needs your help. Oh, come on. You just got on his good side. David Hasselpaw doesn't eat batteries. He's not a robot, he's a friend. Not that robots can't be friends, but, well, maybe they can't. Who knows? You don't really have a horse in that race. That big sensitive snoot would probably just sneeze this stuff right back into your face. It would be cute, but kind of a waste, and of course the spice mix might just kill David Hasselpaw outright, like it did to that monster in your kitchen. You and the deer cat are pretty chill now, but it may be a little early to start introducing them to your other animal companions, especially considering they're a half cat, and Byers is an all bird. You show the sketchy diagram to David Hasselpaw. David Hasselpaw either doesn't care or cares a lot, and you really can't read him very well just yet. You turn back to the cuspidated Grimalkin section for a quick reread. You already got that nasty thorn out and bandaged him up. Any further fussing with the wound would cause David Hasselpaw more harm than good. You remember the tragic and mildly hilarious tale of President James Garfield, who Jude insists was killed by alien gangsters. Assassinated, even. You looked it up once, and in truth, he succumbed to nothing more sinister than a terminal case of extreme medical incompetence. Look at that graceful beauty of a friendly beast. David Hasselpaw doesn't need any help getting around, especially now that you got their paw all fixed up. Ride. Now that I'm thinking about it, I'm suddenly pretty nervous about how I'm going to get over there. I keep seeing the shadows of huge, hulking things flying around outside. Yeah, the crossing won't be easy. I'm sorry. Is it always this hard to get across the street? No, I mean, not usually. Things got pretty intense. How do you mean? Somebody we were supposed to be meeting up with didn't show, or maybe they did and it went bad. I don't really know. Dammek didn't tell me what was happening. And I screwed everything up. I know it. You should stay there. I don't want to risk you getting hurt because of me. You were gonna risk it for me. Yeah, that's true, I guess. No guessing necessary. I didn't realize then how brave you were being. Thank you. It means... it means a lot. But... no buts. Except yours, which I'm saving! Are you sure? Extremely. Oh! We'll be there in a flash. Excellent. Wait. We? Hey, we're here. Oh, geez. Is that you under the rubble? I mean, I assume it is? I hope so. Not that I want you to keep getting crushed under rubble. I hope that didn't happen enough because that I'd mistake you for someone else getting crushed under rubble. Nah, it's me. I was lucky. Lucky? Left for dead, covered up but not hurt bad enough to actually die. The ones who got culled on sight. Or snatched up to be culled later, probably in some sick high-blood spectacle. They weren't as lucky as me. Is this what you're rebelling against? These drone things? No. I mean, not really. The heiress is in charge and the drones obey her. It's her birthright. So why is she doing this? I have no idea. Low-bloods get culled for anything and everything or no reason at all. She doesn't have to have one. Or maybe our subgrub being on fire makes a really sick selfie background. Are you serious? She sounds terrible. Yeah, no kidding. It's like the Tetrarch says. The slow, the soft, the unlucky, the troublemakers. Anyone who doesn't jump when the heiress snaps her webby little fingers, they get rounded up and slaved or slaughtered. Especially rustbloods. Like me. This is terrible! Your neighborhood is on fire! You're buried in rubble! Like you said, this is why we're rebelling. This is so awful! Why hasn't someone already put a stop to this? My subgrub is full of lowbloods. We don't matter. So nobody who does matter cares. All this is... it's taking out the garbage. It's always been this way. Nobody does anything about it. Especially not gutter bloods. Like me. We're mostly good at lying down to die. But you're rebelling, right? So you are doing something. That's not me. That's the Tetrarch. Tetrarch Dammek is different. He's amazing. Wish you could meet him. He always does things like he's in a movie where he's the star. It's him. You know? He put the whole thing together. The Rebel Network, the plan, all of it. But without him, we don't have a chance. He was the one everyone talked to, and now he's gone. He's gone. And I'm alone. And I'm slow and soft and stupid. I'm just a nothing little gutter blood nobody. No! What? This Dammek guy? He sounds like he stinks. What? Okay, I'm sorry, but you talk about him constantly, and not a single word you've said doesn't make him sound like an awful bully. No, it's not like that at all. He's just looking out for me. Ah, open your eyes! Why do you think you're really saying these terrible things? It's not like I don't know where you're coming from. Sometimes my paw makes me feel just rotten. And to think, am I the reason he's never around? What's wrong with me that makes my own father not want to see me? But that's a load of garbage! The only person responsible for the terrible things he does is him. No, you don't understand. Me and the Tetrarch have been together since we were grubs. We were fated to be Morvales. You wouldn't get it, because you're not an alien. Because you're an alien. Not... because you are an alien. I need him. No! You don't! I may not know anything about the social customs of this crazy alien planet, but I know what a real friend... But I know that a real friend would never stand by and let you think and say those things about yourself. I don't think you're nothing. In fact, I know you're not nothing. You've got plenty of your own bravery. Just because fighting back was his idea doesn't mean it didn't take courage to see it through. And you were going to risk everything to save me, an alien you'd never even met. That's the bravest thing I ever heard get tried. You really think so? Yeah! I believe in you, Zephyros! Wow. You remembered my name this time. Yes! That's because you made such a big impression on me, and we're such good friends, and I'd be really sad if you gave up and died here under these rocks. Oh, man. That actually means a lot to me. I never even dreamed that something like this could happen for someone like me. Zephyros, I'm going to do my absolute best to raise your standard of friendship to the point where having your name remembered is not the nicest thing anyone has ever done for you. I'm not alone after all. I've got Joey Alien here to save me. And tell me what to do. Well, no. We're in this together. Oh, yeah. Right. Thanks, Joey. Now let's get you out of there and then figure out what's next. Are you sure you don't know anyone who can help us? I kind of don't even know what kind of help we need, but it seems we do. Well, I do know someone. but they don't exactly live nearby. It'll be a journey. Are you sure they'll help us? Oh yeah, she hates the heiress. And she's our biggest fan. That's good enough for me. Now hold still, I'm gonna get you out of there. David Hasselpaw is looking antsy. Good instincts, you better finish up here quick. He can't leave without Zephyros. Even if he didn't need your help, where would you go? Well, at least the pavement looks pretty much normal. If a bit slimy? Shiny. You have our transportation handled already. You'd be better off using this thing to help Zephyros and fast. It's not safe out here. Oh, I can't gander. No gandering for me. This is Zephyros' dad, apparently? He's moving pretty sloth-like, huh? According to the book, the Slothlusus is actually named the Glacial Tree Trudger. Wow! You learn something new every day. Just from looking at this big fella, you can tell he prefers his own blend of sloth treats. I'm pretty perceptive about these things. From the looks of him, this big bruiser lacks the lightning-quick mental acuity to keep up with the razzle-dazzle Pog's lifestyle. He does seem pretty low energy? Aha! Aha! Okay, that was pretty good. Anyway, you don't give the sloth a battery because you probably choked to death on it. Very, very slowly. You aren't sure if making Zephyros' pet more delicious is the best opening salvo in your in-person friendship. You mean that sincerely. For all you know, that might be step 17 of the alien friendship ritual. You think you'll play it safe, though? The sloth equips the pigeon helm, gaining the Trashbird Barbuta ability, which is to say, Byers lands on the sloth's head and poops on its neck. Fantastic. You're sorry to be blunt, but you're nervous he'd eat it. Actually, you're not that sorry. You don't need to tiptoe around someone's feelings just because they might do something rude. That's good advice. He looks plenty healthy, but very worried about Zephyros. You consider giving the sloth the hover pad and letting him activate it to free Zephyros. After all, he started the job, you guess barely. But you don't have all day here, so maybe you should do it yourself. Your careful, graceful movements seem to resonate with the languid beast, you think. The molasses-paced marsupial is unable to perceive your lightning-quick hot-stepping. You're just as certain of it as you are that sloths are marsupials. You're very graceful, but you never would have made it across on your own. Jostling that rubble is likely to just hurt Zephyros worse. You need something with a little more kick? Ironic, considering dancing is not actually the solution here. Clear rubble. You've got no chance of moving it all with your bare hands. It's time to bust out the hover pad, or maybe it was the hover sled, you can't quite remember. Oh no, that must be Zephyros. He wasn't kidding, that debris looks heavy. You hope he's okay, or at least that he will be? You'd better hurry up and help him out. Right after these messages, you show your new pal, David Hasselpaw, some of your best steps, and he seems suitably impressed. In retrospect, maybe he wasn't preparing to pounce on you, those... Oh. That's the same. Yeah, that's all the same. Okay. Looks like a street. As far as you can tell, it's not alive, and if it is, it doesn't seem to need immediate medical attention. Unlike, say, Zephyros, you should really get out from under that debris ASAP. That's probably littering. They are chitinous. It would be a shame for Byers' big adventure to end with him getting run over by a space trunk or whatever. You're still not 100% on whether you're in space or not. Oh, what if this place was like a fucking The Autobot planet and it could transform. That'd be great. You know, the streets probably are made of some kind of gross meat or bug or something. It honestly wouldn't surprise you at this point. They may not be compatible with anything on this planet, but you've brought them this far, and it'd be a shame to throw them away now. That's definitely littering. You're not going to be hightailing it out of here soon, so it might not be... you're going to be hightailing it out of here soon, so it might not be in your best interest to leave a tasty trail of snacks to follow. You actually need that sloth to back up a bit so you can use the hover pad, but he'll probably do that on his own. Zephyros already got slammed pretty badly. You don't want to add insult to injury. Zephyros does not need your earth batteries. He needs to not be under a pile of rubble. He's probably having enough trouble breathing as it is. Byers is too weak. The sloth is too slow. Luckily, you have advanced alien technology at your disposal to help you solve this advanced alien rock injury puzzle. You two can pour over this thing just as soon as Zephyros can actually see it. That is to say, as soon as you get all the heavy debris off of his head and the rest of his body. You pick a page at random, and accidentally spend a few minutes reading about... God damn it. Zephyros might need medical attention, but it would be a lot easier to treat him if he weren't currently being crushed under a pile of rubble. Also, probably you shouldn't use the vet medkit to do it. Just a thought. For you, from you. A curse. Flailing boy. Flailing alien bug boy. Oh, this goes really well. This is a good loop. Yeah, let's take a picture. Oh, the stars line up. Yes! Oh, yeah. 3, 2, 1. And that's Hiveswap. Act 1. Kansas City Shuffle. Literally! It was all for a sick selfie background. Fro hike! The wind beneath your wings. No! Yes. Oh, 1 million. Really, 1 million. Clawgunk. Yeah. It's all coming together. Yeah! You're in the credits? Hell yeah! I think I'm also in the credits. Maybe? I don't know. I know I backed it. I'd be in the backer credits. Ah, yeah. See? Well, that's a completed game. Yep. There's my complete save. Okay.